this week I beat Cuphead, and I liked it.
Did you enjoy the Dragon Boss? He's a good one.
Yeah, no, Cuphead's good. Cuphead is just definitely, it's just old school. It's classic. It's interesting because, I'm gonna call that a Canadian treasure. That's a good one. I'm happy with the way that came out. I'm really, it's
Where
interesting.
Was it developed
In Toronto.
Oh, okay, didn't know.
It's interesting because it is, you're seeing old school 24 frame per second animation moving at 60 frames per second. And that is, it works surprisingly well. You know, like it almost instantly was like, yeah, that's fine. You know, your brain doesn't have to take too much time to adjust to that.
Yeah.
If they could have made it more accurate, but it would sacrifice gameplay.
It would either sacrifice gameplay, or if they went the other way, it would sacrifice the aesthetic.
Yeah, and I mean in this case, like gameplay that requires ridiculous precision, it should be 60 FPS, no question. So, yeah, I think it's, you know, good challenge. Definitely, it's the right amount of challenge to make it last. It's you know, a couple hours, because it would be a 2-hour game or less if you were able to beat the bosses in under 5 attempts. Right, like the average game these days, then yeah, you'd be out and done with that thing in no time. So, you know, good fun with that, and it's interesting how currency is like coins are things that you get for free and abuse in other games, and in this, like a single coin is so desperately needed,
Make all the difference,
and every coin is a challenge. You know, how far did you get?
I not like still starting like the second act.
Okay.
Like not even close to the third thing where things really get hard.
Yeah.
The third world, sorry. The second world or whatever.
It's interesting though, because even though things bosses get harder, but they don't get harder on a like
a bullshit
on a
level.
full. It's not fully a slope. There are some easy challenges later on, and some walls
set
early
of stairs rather than like a slope. It's kind of like,
but what I mean is that there's dips later, and then there's spikes early, right? Like I'd say, like have you fought the dragon yet, for example?
No.
Okay. Because like there's a dragon, and it's the final phase of the dragon is. Like, well, depending on what your loadout is, right?
Yeah.
If you bought the wrong shit, you're fucked, kind of thing. But depending on what your loadout is, that to me was way harder than some of the final world bosses. For example.
Okay, I see.
You know, but no, it's also like what you've been like. There's that meme of like, you know, like how are you so good at Cuphead? And it's like you just point at all these classic games:
Contra.
Gunstar Heroes, Contra, Ikaruga. Look, you know, it's like it's basically what you've been doing for all of your early life.
Yeah.
You know, run, gun, jump, shoot, Mega Man skills coming into play. And then
I will point out that NES games were like that primarily because of limitation. Actually, this is kind of the same thing. They were that way because they had to extend the life of the game because they couldn't make that much content on the cartridge.
Like Cuphead, exactly, yeah.
And exactly. And it's just we've come so far since then that, you know, people might have forgotten, but it really is just like it's done in the exact way that those old games were done. And even in games like Mega Man, where you had a long life bar, you can make a lot of mistakes in Mega Man, but one drop off a pit meant you're fucking dead.
Or like into a spike.
Right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like here, it's like, no, dropping into a pit means you lose a hit. Right? So even Cuphead takes it easy on you in some regards,
ways, yeah.
Because if they really wanted to make it authentic, a pit would be death.
And it doesn't have like the level, like, oh, I lost, oh fuck, start of the level again. You are the start of the level, but you're always on the same fight, like 99% of the time.
Yeah. There's that too. You don't have to work up to the boss.
Exactly. You just have to defeat this one boss.
Type thing.
So.
That's not always the rule, but that's the rule for most of the game for sure. Have you played it at all, Eli?
No, I heard at first that it was going to be a boss rush game, and I was like, no, not for me. And then they showed more of the level-based things, and they said, well, that only occupies about 25% of the game, and I thought, well, if I get it, it'll be later on, because I can't really do anything with it right now.
Okay.
So,
well,
maybe eventually.
Yeah, if you appreciate old school animation.
Yeah, because some of
that's the main reason why I would get it. But
Yeah.
I saw their sales numbers, like, well, they don't need me.
Yes,
No,
yeah, there's that too.
But the reward for playing the game is seeing more bosses.
Because some of the boss designs are like fantastic, so
Like incredible, right? And there's some that are like, there's like just super like the super classic, like the pirate is just like a really good example of like everything that this game represents coming together in one moment.
And even basic bosses, like there's just that early on, there's that blue like jelly guy who's just like a blue ball that just bounces. But then when he has different forms, it's like that's the most imaginative blue ball
it's really creative.
I can think of.
Yeah. And no, and to, like my favorite boss of the game is Sally Stage Play. Anyone who's fought Sally Stage Play knows exactly what that's about, and it is for me like leaps and bounds by far my favorite. When you get there, you'll it's the actor. Okay, when you get to the actor on stage, that's fucking. I love everything about that. So
vaudeville.
Yeah, I don't know. I just nothing but good things to say about it. I've I guess co-op is harder because not because there's more life or anything like that, but simply because keeping track of the bullshit becomes way trickier when there's two things to look at on screen.
Yeah, I haven't played it in co-op yet.
Some people were sort of counter complaining about that, like, well, one's blue and one's red. How can you get it mixed up? But I thought, well, they're primarily both whites, just white blobs with little bits of color, like circles of color here and there.
Yeah.
So depending on which the version you're looking at.
Yeah, and so in the midst of everyone flipping around and getting caught up in the other colors from other things, it's very simple to see why everything could get mixed together visually.
Yep. And
could you answer me one thing about co-op? Whenever you die over and over again, does the amount of time that you have to rescue the other player get less?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ghost floats up faster and faster the more times you rescue them, until eventually it just shoots out of the screen. So, no. So that was really cool. Nothing but good things. Like I said, highly recommended.
You're probably more on the, like, if you view it as a spectrum between people that appreciate the difficulty versus people that appreciate the experience, if you want to do that way.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably more on the side of difficulty, aren't you?
Yes. I like hard things. And despite what the memes and the channel will put out there, when I'm sitting at home by myself playing a game that I'm fully focused on.
Guess what?
With no mics in front of me,
all of us.
I enjoy playing shit like that.
I'm really good at Mark Echo when no one's watching, and I don't have Willie clucking his tongue behind me.
Whatever, but it doesn't matter because we're characters. We're not people. We're
I've never been a person,
so it's fine. The what was that?
I was going to say, no one knows anything about that, about us being characters.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect my life any either.
No.